part of the live stream where we go through every single person individually and thank them for arriving. No, it's not. I'm definitely not doing that. How is everyone? I'm going to be having a bit of a moan. It's something that I don't normally do. I don't usually take out my personal frustrations on the platform. You know me. I'm quite the, I don't really like doing that. How do you lot feel? What are your thoughts? I'm going to look in the chat that I have down here. And we're going to see how some of you people are feeling about it all. The Kylie Rodney case. Remember, quote of the year so far, there is an honour in silence. Yes, isn't there just? Isn't there just? An honour in silence. I don't know what's going on, really. Stop trying to make me put ads in. Now, sorry if you're part of the replay crew in the future, because there probably will be ads. But tonight, we're not having ads. So I'm going to say, first of all, hello, everyone. Everybody, consider yourself said hello to. Hello. If you want personal touch, I'm not quite there yet. I'm not up to scratch. I see somebody mentioning SF Investigates, True Crime and Faith. SF Investigates can be summed up in 2 words. Fucking idiot. And that's about as much as I've got to say about him. If you're a fan, I'm sorry. You're still welcome here. We don't ridicule people for having difference of opinion or feelings of, that don't match our own. We don't want you to think like we do. We'd prefer it if you did, because it just makes things easier. But, if you don't, that's fine. That's cool. But you know how I feel now. Hello, Kitty. Fuck. I'm starting to say hello to people. Stop. Stop, Harsh. Stop. We've promised we won't do that. I think judging a grieving family is disgusting, and I'm ashamed of the mass judgment and apathy. The silence she's referring to is the people tearing her and her daughter apart. We're not tearing her daughter apart. I'd just like to point that out. What we're trying to do is look at everything that we're being given, the stuff that's out there, and make sense of it. Because at the moment it doesn't. Because many of us have grown up and we had friends. We've been to parties, numerous parties. I used to go to parties 2 or 3, a week. In fact, the thought of going to another party physically makes me hurt because I'm 42. I don't think I could take another party. But one thing I do know is we wouldn't have ever left a friend in a state, who could be at harm. Who could be at harm? It's wrong. It's wrong. Especially seen as one of those friends, one that put together the timeline. Now I'm going to tell you who that is in a video tomorrow, but one of them who put the timeline together, a friend, one of the last people, potentially the last person to see Kylie, was somebody who had themselves co-written a paper specifically looking at the risks of drink driving in their sort of community, specifically aimed towards these kids. So good at paperwork, good at writing it down, but not good at looking after a true friend. Make it make sense. Anyway, red flags. We've got lots and lots of red flags. I'd like to see what red flags you guys have got. It's in abundance, should we say? It's in abundance. Hello to the mods, by the way. Hello. If you need any help, do tell me, and I shall mod someone up. Perhaps tonight will be a big ceremony crowning someone mod. We'll see how we get on. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to read you an email that I received, okay? I'm going to read you an email. And this email is from someone who is local to the area, or access to the area. And they went to it, because you know what it's like, guys, and I'm not going to pretend that this isn't the case, but sometimes you have to go somewhere, you have to get a feel of the situation to truly understand if what they're trying to say is, how do you say, is possible, is an accident possible, and even though it can't be 100% ruled out, going there and looking at it gives you a better feel for it, doesn't it? So here is this email, okay? So a friend and I drove to Turkey yesterday, September the 10th, from the Sacramento area, right, to pay our respects to Kylie and attend the gathering. We stopped at the sanctuary in Prosser, where the party was, that is. I know some people don't know that where the party was called, it was called the sanctuary. So the sanctuary equals where party was. And then we headed down to where her car went in. We wanted to see things for ourselves, to try and wrap our heads around, what had happened, and if this could have been truly a wrong turn resulting in an accident. After that, we went to the gathering, and here are my notes on what I felt as I was seeing things with my own two eyes. Now, if this wasn't live, I'd do that thing with the eyes. I know you guys like that. But here we go. So the sanctuary itself. Now, remember what we've been told. So we were told that there was around 400 people in attendance to this party. So approximately 400 kids. So even if you said 4 people to a car, that's 100 cars, unless a load of them walked. They might have all walked. But look, so there is not enough parking for hundreds of cars. Even if each car had 4 people in it, I have no idea where these 100 cars would park. There has been word people park down by the water too. While there is more room down there, it is my opinion the walk would be too far. And I would have walked it as a teen too, but still can't see that many kids being there at all. So there's a bit of a distance. Some kids might have done, but it's a walk. The sanctuary area can't even hold 400 kids, in my opinion. There was also a small circle of trash containing a white claw, a truly Modelo can, and bottle caps. I felt like this was so random to leave there since everything else was picked up, so maybe it wasn't left over from the party. If so, why would only these few items be left? Right, so this is the important bit. So this is talking about Kylie's vehicle travelling from where it would have been parked down to the water. So from being parked inside the sanctuary facing the dirt road, we went left on the dirt road down to the water. Then we hit a dead end where you can only turn right or left. Left would take you out of Prosser. We went right to keep heading down to the water. This drive is crazy hard. Extremely hard terrain, in my opinion. I took a video just to show how much the car was moving. You can only do about 5 miles an hour. We keep driving, then we hit another choice. Go right, straight, it wasn't a true right, or go left. We went left to get out to where the car was found. Then you get closer to the water. There is flat terrain where someone could speed up, and I believe they naturally would be driving 5 miles an hour so long until you get to where it starts to drop down to the water. Then we noticed it was a steep drop from the top of the hill into the water. You could absolutely drive down it, but the car would go faster than I had imagined it. I know they said the water level has dropped since Kylie's car was found, but I feel the airbags would have deployed if she was driving straight from the flat terrain into the water. Which is a question that they were talking about on Duty Ron. Ultimately, the airbag deployment. I'm now beginning to think they're wondering why the airbags didn't deploy, because of, I suppose, the trajectory into the water. They're trying to say that at pace, at that trajectory, it should have triggered the airbags. Right, so we're saying, I know they said the water, the airbags would have gone off if she was driving straight from the flat terrain. And backing up a bit to when we first hit the flat terrain, we noticed 4 vehicles, one looking like Kiely's dad's truck. We were very nervous because we didn't want to seem disrespectful. Basically, they're saying that, I'm not going to read it all, but there was some family members down there. The dad was down there, a teenager, and a diver, which I thought initially that would be the guy who was doing the dives. But you're now going to find out that that's not him. So there may be someone else diving in there with the family. So this is the gathering. When we arrived to the gathering, there were already people there because we came about 30 minutes after it was supposed to begin. It was decorated beautifully, and you could tell they had put a lot of effort into the day. We found a spot and sat down on a ledge. We then realised Checkert TV was in front of us. We recognised him from his recent videos on finding some of Kylie's belongings. So it wasn't him who was diving when they arrived there. There was a big screen showing a slideshow of Kylie's life. I noticed there was only one photo of Kylie with her dad out of what seemed to be over 100 photos. One picture with her biological dad. That was so sad to me. An older woman who was a friend of the family began to speak about all of their experiences, starting from when they realised Kylie was missing until the day she was found. She showed extreme gratitude towards the community for helping all of law enforcement, and especially thanking the kids during the search. Not once did she mention AWP, the people who found Kylie for the family. And if it weren't for them, she would still be where she was found, and we'd likely be having a live. And if Ryan Upchurch had his way, we'd probably be blaming Ickard Mel and wondering whether Kylie was perhaps in his basement. But no, so AWP was not thanked, which made me boil a bit, but I know that there is obviously animosity towards them that I still can't wrap my head around. This community is obviously a little bit hippie for me, but each to their own. Each to their own. There was multiple songs sang by locals in tribute to Kylie. Then she noticed that a few of her friends were coming up to speak. She introduced Megs, Bong Rip Meg, as Kylie's best friend. And she spoke first. She shared her feelings about Kylie and was able to maintain complete composure the entire way. Then a teenage boy spoke, another teenage girl who was the boy's sister. We haven't seen them before. And then Sammy spoke. That was a mistake. She spoke. She did make it seem like they were good friends. She didn't cry at all, and quite frankly didn't seem to feel guilty that she had been supposedly drinking with Kylie all night. We'll come back to that in a bit. There were 2 other girls I had also not seen before that spoke after her, one of which had completely broke down in a sobbing cry. You could tell that she did actually love her so much. This petticoat girl had said she had only known Kylie for a short time. There were hardly any teenagers there. Okay? So bear that in mind. 400 people. We're supposed to believe there's 400 people at this party. I know they didn't know her, but generally communities come together, don't they? They come together, and if there's a tragedy, especially when they're looking to push this narrative that perhaps something, went wrong, that it could have happened to any of them, then maybe they would have come together, maybe I'm just wrong. There were hardly any teenagers there. If I had to guess, I would say maybe 15. 15! 15! We never saw Jagger or Kate at all. Jagger and Kate at all. They weren't there. Think of that as you will. Jagger and Kate not there. I'm going to come back to that in a minute as well. Kate Cuneo. While I'm just reading the last bit of this, who is Kate Cuneo's father? Does anyone know? We thought this was weird because they were front and centre in the early stage of the search, and Jagger has been professing his love to her since. Professing his love to her. Loves her so much, didn't attend the memorial. Didn't put up any missing posters as well in that duration of time where she was missing on the social media. So we thought this was weird because they were front and centre. I've just read that bit. Why would he not be there? I mean, if it was okay for Sammy to be there, Sammy's basically getting the brunt of it, isn't she? She's getting the brunt of it. But she still managed to go. She went. With all the rumours, Jagger's presence wouldn't have made a difference. But to me, his absence did. The fact that someone's put Jagger was there, they didn't see him. This was someone who was there, they said he wasn't there. If he was there, perhaps he was hiding. When I was in a high school and someone died, a huge memorial site were left where a person had died. Mass amounts of teenagers would go to the memorial, whether they knew the person directly. So this is just confirming what I've just said. They have said that the mum was crying. She was very moved. She sat back and listened to everybody's words, and it was that from the mum. It was pretty positive. But anyway, so that is what I got from that. I must admit is the bit that comes from that is the accident, the accident situation. If the car can't physically make it, then it can't be an accident. If someone is inebriated to the point, that they can't really drive, and that terrain requires someone to be skillful in that route, then it can't be an accident if it can't get there. Or it wasn't them that was driving and someone else drove. Who knows? Someone put Ryan Upchurch may have been wrong about Kylie not existing, but he was picking up the pieces of information don't line up. No, you're right. There are pieces of information that don't line up. Now, I just wanted to know, I asked, and I didn't see because I was reading, whether people knew who was Kate Cuneo's dad. And a lot of people think that it's this deputy Dave Cuneo. Now, I don't think that is. I think that that's quite possibly not. I cannot connect them two together. So, for those of you who think that Dave Cuneo is related, as in he's the father of Kate, I don't think that's right. I could be told it's wrong, and someone has got proof that is in fact the case, but I think they're related, but it's not her dad. But just to put you in, just to let you know a little something about Dave Cuneo. Now, Dave Cuneo, this is just to prove how dodgy law enforcement is around this area. So Dave Cuneo is from Sacramento. He is the deputy sheriff. And a couple of years ago, or I think it was 2018, 2019, it was concluded in 2020, but he actually he shot someone and killed them. Now, this person was apparently, he had to use the force that he did because they posed a threat that he perceived correctly, and he shot him 6 times, 2 of those times being in the back. So he shot the guy twice in the back, 4 times in the front, while the guy had a BB gun tucked in his trousers. Thank you very much, Nicole Baker. That is very, very kind of you. Isn't Nate the sheriff's son? Now, that is what I have heard. I've heard that Nate is indeed the sheriff's son, but that is something else that, with what I have access to, I have not been able to confirm to a point where I can say 100% Nate is indeed his son. So I won't be, won't be saying that he is. But Nate, so a lot of you may have seen the picture. Now, this Nate, he looks very much, and when I say very much, I mean identical to the guy who the tow truck Nick described as who was with the girl when he attended the vehicle that was likely Kylie's. They pretty much, I've got a photograph. If you haven't seen it, I'll do a video. I'll put the video up tomorrow. If you've not seen it, if you've not seen who Nate is, you've not seen this picture of him, there's actually a video. The picture I've got the video, I've got a screenshot from it, but it's actually with Nate and Sammy together. But let's go and have a look at some questions. Put a 1 in chat if you want to see that picture because you've not seen it, and I shall do a video tomorrow and I shall put it in there so you can see it. Because I'm thinking along the lines of it could well have been Nate. It could have been Nate. In fact, in this video that I've got and this picture, he's wearing a San Francisco hat and his brown hair is sticking out of the side of it. And he's quite tall. So it's pretty much bang on. In fact, he looks more like the description than what Jagger does. And you know what I think about Jagger. Now look, let me just put this out there. This is what issue I've got with Jagger. And it's pretty much the same issue that I have with all of these kids. And this is a big red flag for me. And that is that all of these people around Kylie, they've all jumped on the bandwagon now. They want to get involved in the situation now. They want to be involved now. They want to make it look like they were her best friends, that she touched their hearts, she touched their souls. They see sunlight and rainbows and they remind her of Kylie. But yeah, Jagger has stripped Kylie from his social media. He'd moved away. It was 4 hours. Remember, he keeps telling us that, not 2 or 3, it was 4 hours away. So they lived 4 hours apart. He'd stripped her off his social media, and there you go. They weren't together. They were not a couple, and they weren't this. It weren't fucking Romeo and Juliet. It weren't the Capulets and Montague. They weren't fucking running to each other and we're going to lay down and fucking shoot or stab each other. It weren't that. It weren't happening. And people keep commenting like it's, you know what I mean? Like it's Romeo and Juliet. I don't look at Jagger and see Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't look at this situation like that. Do you know what I mean? It looks just disingenuous. What he's doing and all these things on social media, and Kitty, 2.5 hours, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It ain't 4 hours. It might be 4 hours if my nan's driving. Wouldn't be 4 hours if I was driving. It certainly wouldn't be 4 hours with him driving. I think he's got a 300Z Nissan. And he's a little weasel with a heavy right foot. Or would it be left foot? With you in your cars. I don't know whether your pedals are back to front. But look, that's the issue that I've got. The issue I have is they just all look so guilty. So now another red flag is the fact that, look, we've got this party and the only people who have come forward are the people around her. How can everybody wants their 5 minutes of fame, don't they? If someone would have seen her, if someone would have seen something, they'd have come forward. And look, someone's going to turn around and say, someone's come forward, it was on this channel, Doghorn Betty, Bullshit Betty, whatever her name is, she'd had that girl on there, and, they played this clip. It was an audio clip of someone who's come forward, and it was definitely real. It was definitely someone who definitely went to the party, and you know they did because they said they did, and they done a recording and everything. So they definitely went. They definitely were who. Do you know what I mean? They definitely did. And when you listen to this person, when they're talking about what happened at the party, they don't tell us anything that hasn't already been on the internet, on YouTube specifically, already. You know, the fact that, yes, Kylie was definitely drunk. She was very, very drunk. You know, we were told that. We were told that weeks ago, and it's been all over social media. There's been multiple people who have said that this has come out of someone's mouth. But nobody has come forward. Nobody has come out onto this platform and said, look, I was there. They've put their face in front of a camera and said, look, I was there. This is what happened. I saw this. This is what I saw. Nobody. Not one single person. But you tell me, right, red flags. Come on, you give me a red flag. As a mother, I would forever be grateful to drugs destroying. Like if this story's true, it's like how quickly Kylie descended into the very, very drunk stage, or very, very out of it, not being able to walk and talk. That's red flag. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very quick descent. You know, she weren't there for very long. She got there. You've got about an hour where she was drinking out of the same cup as Sammy the Snake. They were drinking out of the same cup. So what? How big was the cup? What was in the cup? Do you know what I mean? It's just, oh man, it's driving me insane. But no, you can't, you know, there's no proof that this party, at the moment, there's no proof. What I can genuinely say is absolute proof that the party existed. Not even that the party existed so much, but that Kylie went to the party. We know her phone was there at some point. Well, we know because we've been told. But from what I can see, there's nothing that tells me 100% that she was at this party. Can DNA of others possibly in the car be retrievable? The problem is we was told. Remember, another red flag is the fact that they told us that they were going to and from Kylie's car. These girls who were together, they were going in and they were charging their phones. They were going in there and getting drinks from the car. So they've covered their bases if the car was ever found and it came up and said, there's DNA in there. Well, yeah, there would be, because we spent all night going in there and out of there. Same as prints, you know, fingerprints. We was going in and out. Why did Jagger say he didn't date Sammy? I have no idea. I think that they're just full of shit. All of them are just rubbish. Could the mum have supplied the booze? Well, we have got a big red flag over the mum. Now, this is going to sound, oh my word, you know what I'm like. I have to say it as it is, because what I do here is, apart from make everyone think I'm an asshole, I say it as it is. I say it as I see it. And the mum, there's just something not right there. There's something not right. Because I know, by being a parent who has children, you know, I've got 5 children, I've got 4, have I got 4? I've got 3 teenagers. Yeah, I've got 3 teenagers. See, this is what they do to you. But I know if my children went out to a party with their friends and they left her at a party and something happened, I'd be pretty fucking pissed. I can tell you that. I would be fuming. I wouldn't care who they were. And, you know, you like your child's friends because they add something to their life. They add, you know, you like their friends because they look after your child. You can trust them with your child. They go to places and they add a positivity to your child's life. You know, you tend to As a parent, you know the children who you don't really want them hanging about with, and you might smile at them and go, you're right, Dave, yeah, and then when they turn round, wanker. And you'll do that for your child. But if something like this then happens, you will very, very quickly be like, I always thought you was a wanker, Dave, and you've proven that you are one. But you don't get this with this situation. You've got a mum who she's all over this Sammy, who is just reeking of she was involved. I'm going to do a video tomorrow, like a small snippet from this, but you're going to get it live and direct. And that is, look, we hear the phrase guilty by association. And these people who went to this party with Kylie are guilty by association. They're guilty of being, culpable in what happened to Kylie because they were there with her. They took her there. They supplied her the drink. Kylie wouldn't have gone into a shop as a 16-year-old child. She looked young. She was young. She was way too young to legally get alcohol, and she wouldn't have got it. So one of these, supplied the drink. One of them said that they were drinking out of the same cup. Thank you very much, Kathy. Stepdad had felony narcotics charges and DV on an unarmed cohabitant with bodily injury convictions against him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But this family, there is things like even this SF investigates the fact that he's got involved and he is very strongly. And who saw the Ryan Upchurch video where this SF investigates I genuinely don't know what was going on with him. He was talking absolute fuck, dropping himself right in it. Right, what do we got? Lots of questions. Let's have a look at chat. Got some questions. If you want, we'll start now. So if you've got a question, put a big question mark or a Q at the start of your comment and let's go. And I will do some Qs for a bit. I know I don't like keeping you lot too long. I know you're a little bit impatient. She looked very young. She did look very young. She wasn't. She she wasn't buying the drink herself. Let's have a look. I have a feeling they're going to sweep this under the rug. I do have a feeling, again, it could be that they do turn up and say that this is an accident. I think it's possible Kylie was unconscious when her car was pushed into the water, so it's possible they will still find water in her lungs. Foul play for sure. I think you could be right, and I think that's potentially why the belt was through the door. I think it was to hold Kylie in the vehicle. That's what I get from it. What do we got? That girl didn't see Sammy. She only... Well, let's go on mental. Wonder how many parents were camping there the night of the party, if any. There were some adults around close by. I did a video not that long ago about the timeline. Why was the cash grab by the mother, and why are friends telling people? I think it's likely that someone had advised her to utilise this situation to perhaps get money. We see it all the time. This isn't a new thing about getting money in this scenario. It isn't. People are pointing it out like this is this is a conspiracy because there's a cash grab. But there's always cash grabs. It's just how they go about doing it, whether it be through merchandise, whether it be through T-shirts, whether it be through fundraisers, whether it be through foundations. There's always a cash grab. So, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just there is always one. What school did Jagger go to? Because Kylie went to a charter school and Sammy went to Truckee High School, but I don't see where Jagger came from. I don't know what school he went to. I know that he was friends with Sammy and them before he was friends with Kylie. But I don't know what school he went to. Hasn't been proven Jagger was 4 hours away. Well, they're saying he's not 4 hours away. It's about 2.5 hours where he lives. So no, he's not. And people who know the area can tell you that as well. What do you think about Sammy on the beach night before the laptop was found? Now, I don't think they had anything to do with Plant and the stuff there. I think the stuff simply fell out of the vehicle. Law enforcement should not have flipped that vehicle round. That is as simple as that. That vehicle should have been wrapped, should have been secured, and it should have been pulled out as it was in situ. That is as simple as that. They shouldn't have flipped it. They shouldn't have turned it and dragged it out the way they did. The main thing you do is to preserve that site, and they did not do that. They twisted the car, they smashed the window, everything's fell out of it, and it's strewn all over the bottom. They couldn't even be bothered to go back out there and get the stuff out. That's as simple as that. If authorities, where was that? It's going very quick. I think I've even got slow mode on. Why was Jagger's alibi fishing with his dad when he later said he was having a little party of his own that night? Because Jagger's full of shit. I think that the initial alibi was set up by Sammy. She said that Jagger was with his dad, and then when they started finding that Sammy wasn't being trusted, he tried to detach himself from her, which I still think that he's trying to detach himself from her, and he's probably been advised to detach himself from her. If authorities believe Kylie climbed to back or floated, why weren't they worried she'd float out to flew out an open window, car retrieval unless tied down? Again, why weren't they? I believe that belt through there. Thank you very much for joining, Joyce Dawn. I do believe that there's a potential that Kylie was strapped down. I think there's that belt could have been pulled down, put through her belt, and pulled back out through the door. It's very, very possible. We'll probably hear that later. I think we may hear that. But at the moment, who knows? The tow truck guy. The issue that I've got with the tow truck guy is nobody else's. Who smashed the window? The window was broken by law enforcement when they turned the truck over. They broke the mirror and they broke the window. The tow truck situation, because nothing else has come of it, there's been no arrest, nothing has been said. I'm struggling with it. I'm struggling with it because I truly believe that if this was something to do with it, we would have heard something. I just feel that there's a potential that it had nothing to do with it. How can we get this investigation or lack thereof? Where's that gone? It's going very quick. I do apologise that I can't keep up. Where are we going? Where are we going? I've even got two screens and they're still going too quick. How can we get this investigation or lack thereof out of mainstream media to shine some more light in this? The problem is, it's like everything, every case. It's like today, isn't it? I'll do a video on Kylie Rodney, and the video could get 10,000 views. It could get 25,000 views. I've had a video on another platform get over 1 million views, and you do a video on these girls who died in their car in Perth today or yesterday. Again, I'm struggling with the time frame because the Australia thing, and you do that and it doesn't get seen because the platforms like this, it doesn't work that way. And the same with mainstream media. If mainstream media feels that there could be a backlash to it, it may be that they don't want to get involved. They want real facts rather than speculation. Speculation can be very damaging to them, and they sometimes won't risk it. Sometimes they just will not risk it. Right, what do we got? Law enforcement should be held responsible when they mess up a crime scene. You're absolutely right. Look at, some big cases. John Benet Ramsey, that was a case that, again, law enforcement fucked up right from the beginning. And, it's that. But I've just seen someone put, it was Nate, and, this reeks of something going seriously wrong. If I was to hazard a guess at this time in what happened to Kylie, I would say that this small group of friends, they got together and something went horribly wrong. They went horribly wrong. Now, there is toxicology to come out, and this is just complete speculation based on information, and the information has come a lot of the time from what we've seen from the people. But this, to me, is something where this tight-knit group, the young girl in amongst them, something went horribly wrong, and we've seen it. You look at what happened years ago with Johnny Depp and River Phoenix. It happens. These guys were out together. They go partying together. One of them takes something. It's a tragic thing. These things happen, and they happen a lot. They happen. They happen more than someone just randomly driving through all that terrain and going down an embankment across and into the water and drowning. Do you know what I mean? And in their car. Teenagers getting killed because of alcohol, and taking drugs that, don't match up with them and kill them happens more frequently than we see. They're just not going to cover it every time we see it. I see people mentioning Gabby Petito, another one where law enforcement screwed up. Do you know what I mean? In fact, even some of that was helped and assisted by this platform, YouTube. People will turn around and they'll crucify the true crime niche. Thank you very much, Tooth Fairy. Let me just read this quick. Sorry if that was my daughter. I would be angry. I would be picking everything apart. The mother seems wishy-washy, maybe even culpable. Nothing makes sense. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I will just let me just say something. I'll go and say as much as, if the mother is not willing to say something against the children who are around her, and she's not showing her anguish, it's almost like she's scared of something. Like, you could interpret what she said about the silent situation, staying silent. Was that a message to somebody else to say, look, I'm not going to say anything, even though I know, look, I appreciate that I can't say anything and I am going to stay quiet. We're just going to let this go. We don't know what happens around these little towns, but something ain't sitting right. Something isn't sitting right. She seems like there's something in the background that is... it's almost like she doesn't want to show people that she is a risk to them. I could have got that completely wrong. I'm trying to understand the mother. I'm trying to understand why a mother is not acting in a way that you would automatically expect her to. If your daughter goes out with friends... we're going down the route of accident. So she goes out with friends, she gets drunk with them, she's 16 years old, they're older than her, they all come home safely, she ends up not only left to a point where she's driven and ended up where she's left, but they have left her there. Why is this mum not lashing out? Why is she not, in her anguish over this, doing what any person would do and be quite rightly doing? Quite rightly so. You couldn't argue with the woman. You couldn't say to her that she's wrong. That's what I would do. That's what you would do. That makes it a big red flag to me that she could be numb. She could just be completely numb, and maybe in 2 weeks we'll find out that she's done a Bundy and gone into people's houses while they sleep and bashed their heads in. That wouldn't surprise me. You have not met my mother. She would not care. Don't get me wrong. If you was a sod when you was younger, your mum might not care. Why do you think there are no pics or vids of the massive party? Makes no sense. Again, a red flag is, we spoke about this, the fact that there is nothing. Children, these teenagers have got their phones attached to the goddamn hands. They even said themselves that they were going to the car and charging their phones and they were using their phones. You can't tell me that if there was 100, 200, 50, 150, 300 people, whatever, that there weren't phones there, that somebody wouldn't upload a video somewhere about it. It's just bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre. I don't understand. I don't get it. I wish I could make sense of it. I just wish. It just seems to me that someone with power, someone with influence, has got the town by the bollocks, and they're saying you can't say anything. There is a danger that if you say anything, it's going to backfire, and it ain't worth it. It's not worth getting involved. I'm just going to keep off. Someone they're posting TikToks 24/7, and that's right. Even that video the other night, the couple of days before the laptop and that were found, they spent however long they were out on that beach then, do you know what I mean, doing videos and dancing around and uploading it to social media, possibly thinking, well, I'm going to post this up and I'm going to get crucified for it. People are going to see it. But yet this party they went to, there's not one thing. Not one thing. Now, was Kylie and this bunch at another party somewhere else? Did something happen to Kylie somewhere else? And were they on their way back from wherever they were? Boca perhaps, and they come back to the sanctuary with Kylie hurt. Had she at that point, taken something and she was at that stage in the back of the car? Had she gone laid in the back of the car because she didn't feel right? And the rest is history. Who knows? Maybe they thought she passed out, put her in the boot, tied her down, shut the belt in the door, pushed the car into the lake, and she wasn't dead. She was knocked out. She was unconscious. That would explain water in the lungs if that comes out. A party of 300 or 400 people and nobody knows anything. No pics, no video, nothing. Yeah. I do not believe it is an accident. I believe it has a lot to do with jealousy and possessiveness. Have you heard of this Be Real app? Yeah, I have, yeah. I can't remember where I've heard of that, but yes, I have heard of Be Real. Is that something to do with pictures or something? Summer breeze. Sammy states that her and Kylie were drinking and going around and drinking from the same cup. That's it. That's what we said. Drinking it up. But Kylie was so drunk she could not even walk or talk. Hello, Joe from Australia. Sorry, Joe. Australia at the moment, they've got, let's just say, a big kind of, Australia have been hit. We've lost these two 20-year-old girls this morning. Earlier on, a few days ago, there was some 18-year-olds who also crashed and hit a tree, I believe. So, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of this happening at the moment, and it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. These girls, I'm going to say, that's scary, the way that these girls died in Perth. For those of you who don't know, it's two 20-year-old girls. They died in Perth. They went into a lake, and I saw the pictures of them. The law enforcement there. They took the car out of the lake properly, and they done it all well, but none of the windows were down. These girls the car had sunk apparently quite quickly, but they had tried to ring friends. They tried to ring friends from the car to say, look, we're stuck in the car, we can't get out, no one's seen us, and we're sinking. Do you know what I mean? And you think there's got to be more. There's got to be more done to bring awareness to these situations, how they can go wrong. So my heart goes out to the family and the friends of these people. What do we got? What do we got? What do you think if AWP not being able to comment if she had clothes on? Yeah, the AWP not being able to say certain things, there is obviously going to be certain things that they're not going to be able to say, because it could backfire. Look at what they've said already, and look how bad that's backfired already. They're taking a lot of heat. People crucifying them for, putting together a video and, doing it in the manner with which they did and said it the way they did. It's like people, like I've worked in businesses before. I worked where we delivered goods out to people. I managed, it was a company that we delivered millions and millions of pounds worth of stuff. And one Christmas, our lorry crashed. The roads were bad. They hit some ice. They went down the embankment, and they were quite hurt. The delivery guys were hurt, and customers were ringing up, and you'd say, "Look, sorry, but these guys have had an accident. They've had a bad accident. The road, they shouldn't really have been." And people just don't care. And it's like on this thing, these guys are on this platform, but they provide a service for free to find loved ones who are lost, for families who want answers, they don't have answers, and the way they do that is through what they do on this platform, by getting the views, by getting the ad revenue, selling some merch, and it provides them everything that they need to do a job and pay them a salary. They deserve a salary, and people begrudge them that. And you think, how can you begrudge them that? How is that wrong? I don't get it. I don't get it. If you can't support Adventures with Purpose, if you genuinely think that there's something bad or disingenuous about what they do, then you're a fucking idiot. Thank you very much, Seagate1, for joining. That is very kind of you to put yourself through that. You obviously know that we don't go through and say hello to everyone here. We don't do that. Right, let's get some more questions. What do we got? How long have we been on? 52 minutes. The time has flown. I'm going to go to midnight. So you got me for another 21 minutes. We don't milk things over here. We don't do things for hours on hours. Sometimes it's not about how long you go for. It's about the quality of, so I've been told, and I hope is true. Good morning from Western Australia. Good morning, Amy. We was just talking about the case of the two young women who lost their lives in Perth today, or yesterday. Again, the time frame thing fucks me up. They're great guys, and I don't know. Wonderful job. They do. Quickies in the garden. That's damn it, Ramblin'. We do a lot of quickies in the garden. It's going to be winter soon, and I'm not 100% sure whether I'm going to be doing too many more quickies in the garden, but I have just renovated the kitchen, so perhaps in there, I'm not fussy. Wherever we can slip one in. What do we got? Quality over quantity, any for me. That's it. Quality over quantity. Girls from Perth supposedly went through an intersection over a meridian and into the water, so did the brakes fail? That's what I'm thinking. I did do a video earlier, and I think it's what's that? I thought you wanted others' opinions. Now you're calling people who don't like AWP fucking idiot. That's it, Nicole. You can show that comment to people. Like I do. I genuinely do. If you don't like what they do, that's what I think. I'm entitled to an opinion. You're entitled to an opinion, and I welcome other people's opinions, but I don't agree with everybody. I certainly don't. But these people. Thank you for always keeping it 100%. I haven't bought you a coffee in a while. Love the quickies in the gun. Thank you very much, Dope. You are awesome. You know that. What do we got? Have we got any more questions? Kylie's mum doesn't want what? Let me have a look. I wanted to catch that. Let's go back to that. Kylie's mum doesn't want to believe that these kids hugging her could be involved. Who can blame her? But it's not even that, dandelions and daisies. I think you couldn't help it but blame. You look to blame people, don't you? And I just think that that's in our nature to blame. And you know, when you've lost a child, I think you'd reach out and you'd attack. You would attack. They are effing idiots. Is that someone who doesn't like AWP? True Fairy. Hello, True Fairy. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. What do we got? Did Jagger and Sammy go to the memorial? Well, I've got somebody who messaged me who said they didn't see Jagger there, but apparently Jagger may have turned up. Maybe he turned up later. So yeah, I've kind of mixed. The person who I was talking to, they didn't see him, but they did leave because they had a bit of a drive to do. They had to go back over to Sacramento. I unfollowed Chris, but now curious. What do we got? Harsh reality. Think the dad needs to hire outside investigators because mum is obviously oblivious to the fact that something isn't right. And the dad is pissed, isn't he? Thank you very much, Jane, for joining. It's very kind of you. But the dad is pissed. He is angry. Jagger was there. I saw him on the video. Thank you very much, Kathy. Like I say, he must have turned up a little bit later than the people I was speaking to did. Kathy Richardson, that's what I originally thought from the way the blur was. Then I thought it was blah blah blah. I'm butting in on people's conversations. Sorry, it's like looking over someone's shoulder reading their fucking text message. Right, how we got? Jagger was there, but maybe Kate was not. Yeah, that, again, someone else might be able to say they saw Kate. I'm not 100% sure. Is the PI legit? What kind of investigator discusses everything? Is he legit? He's legit fucking idiot is what he is. He is all over social media. He's not... People don't like this guy. And I'm going to... On one of the videos I do tomorrow, I do 2 videos a day. For those of you who don't know, I do 2 videos a day. And he was on with Ryan Upchurch and Zavgirl, is it? And some of the stuff he was saying, it was cringeworthy. It was truly cringeworthy. It was like he's got his nose out of joint. He really needs to keep his mouth shut. He's not doing anyone any favours. He's not someone who the family have hired and paid. He's someone who turned up and went, hi, I'm a PI and I'm going to be here with you and help you and stand about and go on social media and make you all look fucking worse than what you are. Her mum was hugging all these girls and telling everyone no more investigation into Kylie's death. Why? That's it. You know, it's I don't get it. Again, there's no rule book for how you will react when you lose a child. There isn't. I get that. I get that. But some things we don't have any control over, and I think grief, it goes through stages, and it would be interesting to see if, she gets to the stage where she wants to throttle Sammy. Do you know what I mean? Show. What do we got? How long have we got left? We've got 15 minutes. Let's have some more questions, and I'll see if I can get... Yeah, someone's put, you're great. Nice to have someone actually honest and not trying to be like others. There's only one me, I'm telling you that. It's probably good. I don't think YouTube could handle 2 of me. I'm a bit of a nightmare. There's no filter. The harsh reality. This was... a nickname that I got as a teenager because I didn't have any filter back then. Are you making money off of this YouTube? Off of this video? Are they asking if I'm making money off this video? There's no monetization in terms of ads. It keeps telling me to put an ad in and I'll click it and say no ads. But people are giving super stickers and things like that I get and buy drugs with. I don't rarely buy drugs with, by the way. It's going to pay back some money from the money that I've just paid out for another purpose that some people know and I'm not going to talk about. What is your opinion so far without hearing MOD? Do you believe this was an accident? No, I don't. I absolutely do not believe that this was an accident at all. At all. Do not believe it. And even if they tell me that it's an accident, and they even show me a picture of a car and an arrow and the water, and they walk me through it like I'm a thick idiot, and they're trying to say, look, this is what happened, this is Kylie travelling, I still won't fucking believe it. I will not believe it, ever. Ever. Did you see the picture of Kylie and her mum photoshopped? The same picture of Kylie was used for her missing poster with a completely different background. I didn't see that. I didn't see it. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm still not going to go down the route of believing that she does not exist, or that Ickard Mel is a child trafficker whose name is Ickard Mel because it's an anagram of sell me kid, or tell you. Look, ad. I wish I could show. I could show you. This would be. There'll be a good time to insert ads. See that box? Ads. So I put close, and you don't get ads. You see. Hazing. People talk about hazing. I personally have not ruled that out. Hazing is something that I've considered it could be. It could have been. It could have been initiation, do something. Could have tied her in the frigging car, said you've got to get out, and pushed her in. It could have been that situation, and that went completely tits up. Who knows? We've obviously got the sorority girls and stuff like that, and these initiations, and it could have gone completely balls up. But it's possible. It is possible. They happen. Do you know what I mean? This happened. What Kylie was a sacrifice or something? Was I get a lot about? Do you sell the harsh reality hoodies? If so, where? Not this one that I'm wearing now, because this one's shit. I do have hoodies. The link is somewhere. I can't even tell you where it is. Should be under videos, but I don't push the merch. If you can find it, you can buy it. It's somewhere on the channel. You've just got to try and find it. I think I put it in video descriptions, possibly. It's one of them where if you can find it, you can have it. If you can't, I'm not going to push it, because I can't be bothered. Which parent had legal custody of Kylie? Question asked 46 times at least. The mum. The mum did. She lived with mum. What's going on? Yes. That's why I asked about the wilderness school. Did somebody haze, bully, harass, initiate her and challenge her based on the connect? It could have been. Like I say, very well could. Link in description, someone said. Thank you very much, Kathy. You've joined. We've had a few people join this morning. Thank you to everyone who has joined. It's very kind of you. We'll go towards my drug habit. Again, joke. I don't have a drug habit. You know some of them clip channels now? Fuck it, I shouldn't have said that, should I? That'll be on one of them now. I saw one earlier. I can't remember what it was called. Done one. That was actually quite good. I've had people doing videos of me dancing with Benny Keys. You know, that one time when I, thought I'd give Benny Keys a chance back in my younger days when I was naive. Right, some last few questions. Ask away. Keep them clean. We're not talking about nipple piercings or anything like that. And you know about me ear. For those of you who are new around here, the ear is still not been sorted. What do you think about Sammy's video at the beach the night before the laptop was found? I think she looked like a disingenuous little bitch, is what I thought. You know, your friends just died. You could have stopped that from happening, and I don't know. And you're dancing around the beach like a fucking lunatic, smiling and dancing and singing and like best night in the world. I imagine her being this snidey little worm who goes out for a night out, and she walks in. The mum goes, "Good night. Yeah, we didn't kill anyone tonight." Oh, good, good. That sort of thing. That fucking blasé about it. I don't like her. I genuinely don't like her. And even if well, I'm not because I'll never ever believe this. Even if they tell me it's an accident, like I said earlier, it's not going to believe it. Not going to believe it. I'm not going to go down the route of getting a T-shirt with Team Foul Play on it. I'm not going to do that because that's sad. But I will not. I'll never ever believe that was an accident. I will send you. I need drugs for clip harsh. Thank you. See, that's going to come back and bite me in the arse. You saw it here first. Opinion on Zaname. From what I can see on Zaname, and I'm going to say again, you know me, if I don't like something, I'll say it. If I do, you know, thank you very much for gifting out memberships. That was very kind of you as well. Or you are punishment. Either that might have been punishment. You see, I see this gifting thing, and I think, you know what? That could be classed as, look, you have a membership, like punishment. What was I saying? Zaname, anyway. With regards to Zaname, from what I can see, she seems alright. She seems alright. She's obviously got some stuff in the background. Hello, new subscriber, Eddie Mack. Legend. Yeah, she's got some stuff. She's got some military background, it would seem. Either that or she's shit hot at editing. And if she's that good at editing to make it look like she's been in the military, then kudos to her for that. But I can't see anything bad. I can't. She definitely isn't part of a trafficking ring headed up by Ickard Mel, and it's tell your man to sell me kid. I'm not buying that. Not buying that. So yeah, there is that. Yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about her. Not seeing anything, no proof of anything. She was obviously down there and she was in a boat, which was unlucky for her. With the levels going down in the reservoir, if the phone's there, it should be found soon. Yeah. The scary thing is if this had have gone on for much longer, you'd have probably tripped over the fucking car. Law enforcement couldn't find it. They couldn't find it. They couldn't see it. They apparently sent divers out there, which I don't think they did. But you'd have tripped over the car. You can see laptop and stuff all through the water. You can see a little tin of mints or whatever they are, but they can't see a fucking 3.5 ton motor. Do you know what I mean? No wonder people get shot 6 times, David Cuneo. You probably thought there was about 8 people in front of you. Your eyes are that fucking bad, you lot. Very weird. Law enforcement couldn't find it. I think it was murder. It was definitely something, and at the very least, negligent homicide. That's the way I look at it. Negligent. How old are you? Oh, Mindy. You never ask a lady. You never ask a lady how old she is. I am 42 years old. 42. 42. Don't look a day over 20. Don't say it. I already know. Don't look a day over 20. Easy paper round me. How can she drive into the water from the back? It's not possible. No, you're right. I'm guessing that she wasn't driving from the back. I'm guessing that definitely didn't happen. I've seen Mr. Bean drive from the roof. He was sitting on a chair with a brush through the window, so you can drive from the roof. He just definitely can't drive from the back, the boot. That didn't happen. Not at all. Couple of years older than you. Someone is old at Jane123 is 44, everyone. Give her a big round of applause. Thank you very much. You're only young fella. Only young. I'm telling you something. You want to try living with 4 girls, 1 boy. The boy, to be fair, he's a little gem. Girls, sheesh. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Have kids, they said. It will be fun, they said. Just don't have fucking girls. I didn't hear that bit, but Jesus Christ. But if any of them, like I said earlier, went to a party and their friends left them there, any of them there, and they came to any form of harm at all, I would hunt them down and I would cut their legs off. You look as good as you feel, Harsh. I don't care if you ask me how old I am, just don't ask my weight. I think we'd all like to be about 5, 20 pounds, 30 pounds lighter than what we are. I like them really thin mirrors, so you can just pretend that whatever day you're having, you're only as wide as the mirror. Police Academy, the rookie drove from the back. He ripped the chair out first, mind. He did indeed. He did indeed. Thank you very much. So, is there any final questions before we wrap up? We've been on now for 71 minutes, and that is it's my longest ever, I think. I think this is my longest ever live. There'll be people talking about me, saying I can't stand them long lives. He's nearly as bad as Jodie Sue Brown. Any summer updates, Harsh? At the moment, I think the big thing that we're waiting for in the Summer Wells case, hold on, I'm going to touch on something on the Summer Wells case, but the big thing that we're waiting for, obviously, is Don coming out of jail. You know, obviously, we need him to come out and we need him to ruffle some feathers, I think. There's been recently there was a little bit of drama going around because there was an apparent sighting of Summer, but that got completely fucked up because people were showing the wrong hotel, and it got in a bit of a mess. But it turned out that not only was it the wrong hotel, when they found out the right hotel, it wasn't her anyway. So, yes, whether some of the channels pushed a certain narrative because the only thing that they can talk about is Summer, and they're running out of content, I don't know. You know, it's I don't know, and it's not for me to say. But it's all about Don when Don comes out. I do keep an eye on look every single day. Please do not forget or think that I forgot that Summer is still out there, and you know I think about Summer every single day. I think about Oakley Carlson. You know, we've got Harmony Montgomery, and I want to know what's going on there. Obviously, that silly bitch has fucking gone missing and then been arrested again. They just need to lock them pair up. They just need to lock them both up, throw the key away, get shot of them, and be done with it. Don't even need a trial. Just put the pair of scumbags away. Lock them in a little box and fuck them off a cliff. Say they tried to do a magic trick and that went wrong. Great channel. I enjoy the little humour, especially when some people are just jackasses. Yeah, some people are. I can be. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, as close to as you're going to get. But, you know, I think we will. I think we can call it a night. If there's a couple of last questions, anything you like. You sound like Ricky Gervais. I will take that as a compliment. Thank you very much. I like Ricky Gervais. He is very funny. He's nearly as funny as me, which sucks because he's made millions. I've seen the jackass in you. I'm going to let him have that. Show. Let him have it. Tracy McDaniel, I've seen the jackass in you. Yeah, you have. Everybody has. You know, I can be terrible. But one thing I will be is honest. I will always be honest. I would rather have 100 subscribers who are here because I'm being honest and truthful than have 1 million subscribers because I'm just doing what you lot want me to do. You know, so if I say something that you don't agree with, don't worry about it. If you say something that I don't agree with, I don't worry about it. I'll have an opinion on it, like you'll have an opinion on me, and that's life. I don't want us all to agree. I don't expect everyone to agree, as long as everybody in chat respects each other, and we can, you know, just be that. Just be human. Normal human beings respect the fact that we don't all think the same. That's it. And on that note, I think we'll call it a night. I don't like to keep you all too long. You've got loads of stuff that you could be doing instead of being here. But I appreciate the fact that you've spent some time here with me tonight. And I shall catch you all in the next one.